A lot of people say Venice is overhyped, overpriced, not really that worth visiting here. And after visiting here for a few hours now, we can honestly say
Good morning, guys. We are in Italy. After the last time we saw you in Slovenia, we drove across the border into Italy, where we will be spending the next few weeks of summer, starting with the world-renowned city of Venice, the city of love, the city of canals, of gondolas, and we're going to see if it lives up to the hype. This bridge behind me takes you into the historical city center of Venice, the Centro Storico, as the Italians so beautifully call it.
Kim has already been here before, but for me it is the first time visiting Venice. I'm really excited about it. Venice is made out of little islands which are connected by these canals and by these beautiful bridges, as you can see behind us.
That is also what makes it super unique, and the reason why it's famous, why people flock here from all over the world, to the point where Venice actually got about 25 to 30 million people visiting here every year before you know what happened. When some of those big cruise ships dock up here, it is insane how many people flock into the city, all wanting to do the same things, go to the same spots in just a few hours time. A lot of people say, well, Venice is beautiful, but like, is it really worth it because it's so hyped that it sees so many visitors?
Super touristy, super expensive, not great service, even stinky, some people say, in summertime.
So we're here to see if that is true.
You may be wondering how this city on the water came to exist. It was originally a group of islands where there was water flows in between, which is actually what these canals still are. And then when people came to live here in the 5th century, they came from the mainland, they started building houses here, and they fortified the islands with tree trunks, and slowly but surely these canals started forming, and throughout the centuries they started making more landmass, started building in stone, and then created these canals in between. That is how it came to exist.
The most iconic thing to do in Venice by far is to take a gondola ride through the canal system. If you do some research online, people are often split on whether this is actually worth the money. Stick around until the end of the video to find out, as we embark on a ride that we're pretty sure is more adventurous than your average gondola ride.
It's very difficult, now you stay here.
First order of the day, because this is Italy. Some coffee. Look at this tiny cutesy little coffee. This is actually the typical Italian coffee. I think they call it espresso here as well, but in Belgium that is like a bigger and not as strong cup as here in Italy. And this is actually how people have breakfast here in Italy: a small coffee and a pastry while standing up somewhere at a bar. I'm going to give it a shot. This is my first Italian coffee. Cheers. Oh, that's so strong. It's good, but it is super strong. If you drink a few of these, you're gonna be like jazzed up for the day.
You can swim across the canal.
You can swim across, yeah. You can do laps around around Venice. Like a mini pizza for breakfast.
We're in Italy after all. Sorry. It's nice to see though that tourism seems to be recovering. It's not super busy here, but there's a nice buzz going on, and tourists seem to be returning in good healthy amounts. That is really nice. I saw some videos recently where Venice was eerily empty. It has its charm because you rarely ever get to see it like that, but still.
Look at these beautiful little squares, these colorful little houses, the canal over here, this grand building, bridges, oh my god.
I wonder what these buildings cost though. I mean, must be super, super expensive to buy something here.
This is the cutest street so far. Like, look at this. Look at the canal. Look at the way, okay, the buildings are crooked. I mean, they could be a little bit straighter. But look at the colors. Look at all those windows and the shutters and that little bridge over there. Oh, wow.
There's a lot of small little canals running through Venice, and this is the biggest one. It's called Grand Canal. It's, as you can see, it's very, very wide, very big, and it essentially splits the city in half. It goes all the way from one side to the other side. It is also used as one of the main transportation routes here. And if you walk about half an hour that way, you get to San Marco Square. But we have another way of getting there. In Venice, everything is on the water, including the transportation. We are on a public bus in the form of a boat. How cool is this?
And just a short 20-minute ride later, we have arrived at San Marco Square. First impressions of Venice, sir?
Wow, wow, that's just what I'm thinking every time I just walk around the corner, see a new alleyway. That boat ride was fantastic. St. Mark's Square here. Beautiful.
There are hardly any people here. I mean, there are people here, there are tourists here,
yeah,
but it's not like in normal times when you would have like droves and droves of people. The Alta San Marco is the main square in Venice. It is the heart of Venice's Centro Storico. It has this beautiful basilica, San Marco Basilica, in the back over there. The square is actually huge. It's 180 meters long and 70 meters wide. Venice is actually a city that, as you saw, is surrounded by water on all sides. When there's a lot of rain, San Marco can become completely flooded. And speaking of floods, we've been getting a lot of concerned messages from our patrons, from you guys. As you may have seen and heard on the news, there are horrible floods going on in Belgium.
Villages and cities have been completely submerged, like houses have been destroyed and submerged, bridges, roads. So yeah, it's a pretty drastic situation there. Fortunately, our family and friends are safe.
It's not too far from where we used to live, but fortunately
our
they're all
hometown
okay.
is about 20 kilometers from where the main big heavy floods are.
There are entire houses, entire roads, parts of railways that have just been washed away.
We saw those videos about those houses just collapsing under the water floods. I mean, it just breaks my heart.
Yeah, it breaks our heart. It made us feel really, really sad actually. As beautiful as Venice is, like, it did sort of remind us a few times of that as we were walking across the bridges through the alleyways to see these houses that are really up to their neck in the water. For here, that's obviously normal, but like at home, it's just horrible. And I don't know, it's in the back of our minds a lot actually. So we wanted to thank you guys as always for being so nice to us, for supporting us, for sending us loads of messages, asking if our friends, if our family are okay, if we're okay. Everyone we know is okay, and we hope that things will get better soon. Let's go look at some more beautiful stuff, shall we? To lift the spirits. There you go.
For you. One photo, 5 you. You are. Wow. Enjoy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We came to this restaurant called Trattoria Taglioni. I found it on a foodie blog somewhere because that's usually what we do. Especially in Venice, there's plenty of restaurants, but there's so many touristy places here that offer like mediocre quality. There's an appetizer, mix of appetizers. I think all of them are fish-based. You have some octopus, some prawns, some scallops.
To Italy.
To Italy.
So as a main course, I have the Eggplant Parmigiano. Basically, it is an eggplant dish with tomato and loads of cheese in there. This looks like a lasagna with all the layers. Oh, look at that creaminess, look at the gooiness. You open your mouth, you put it in, you don't even close it. All you taste is Parmigiano. That's amazing. is the best cheese ever.
One of the things you often hear mentioned about Venice is how overpriced it is. For example, when you go to San Marco Square, you have a coffee there, a cappuccino. Cappuccino costs €8 there, one cappuccino. Super expensive, but then you are in the most touristy place. While, for example, we just had an espresso for €1.10. Also for this is high quality seafood. It's not a touristy restaurant. Our main dishes cost about €18, so it's not super cheap, but for the quality you get, I think that's really good value for money. And if you look around a bit, you can find a pizza for about €10, but if you just go to St. Mark's Square and eat there, or the main tourist places, you will pay a lot of money for mediocre food.
So we're gonna find a gondoliere, a man who is knowledgeable enough to drive a gondola through these canals, because Lord knows we're not doing it ourselves.
La gondola. If you want, it's possible to make the tour, the circle.
Oh my god. It's super, super wobbly when we get in.
Wow, this gondola is really luxurious.
Look at this, I mean, not bad, not too shabby. Bye bye land, I will miss you.
No, don't touch.
Okay.
A lot of people say Venice is overhyped, overpriced, not really that worth visiting here. And after visiting here for a few hours now, we can honestly say it is really, really worth coming here. It's amazing. It's even better than I would have ever expected. It's more beautiful.
So, lady, excuse me.
Oh yes?
Is it possible you to sit here in front of me on the red?
At high tide, it is apparently harder for the gondolieres to navigate the canals, as the iron prow at the front of the gondola is so close to the bridges that it can literally smack into them. Not your first time driving, no? Which is why they'll often move passengers around to put more weight on one side of the boat and tilt it a lot, so it's easier to pass.
If you want to sit in front on the red steps.
Oh, on the red steps?
Yeah, you see red steps.
Okay, yeah.
Kim's now sitting in the front because it is very windy and she's stabilizing the boat. Kim is an excellent boat stabilizer. I think it's the best boat stabilizer I've ever seen.
I don't think it's very easy navigating these canals. I mean, on average, these boats are about 11 meters long and 600 kilograms in weight.
I think it's having a hard time because the wind really picked up. You can see it's wobbly now here. I think Kim is slightly distressed. It is very, very bumpy all of a sudden. You can see these dark, I think rain, stormy clouds coming in. Not the best time to be on a gondola.
Okay. It's very difficult now you stay here. Because the wind tornado, you stay here, the wind, it's very difficult.
Okay.
As the wind continued to get worse, we could tell it was starting to become unsafe because our gondoliere was pretty tense. Not safe?
I am afraid because it's very...
Oh no, yeah.
He seems quite stressed, not good.
The most important my life, you know, for 10 years. Okay, go. The weather is dangerous now. In one moment, to play everything.
Yeah.
They will damage this.
Look at this, guys. I mean, look how the weather has turned on us.
So yeah, what do we think about the gondola ride? Is it worth it?
It's an exhilarating activity for sure.
Yeah, I thought it would be like a peaceful, nice activity. In the end, it turned out to be a bit more adrenaline fueled than I had expected. So
like the moment he was like, lady, now sit here, please don't be scared. I was like, you're scaring me.
So we're kind of inconclusive if it's worth it. I mean, It was pretty cool. I mean, the first 15 minutes were really nice. So normal price for gondola ride is 80 euros for 30 minutes. It's a fixed price. There's no negotiating. We got discount because the guy was like, no, get off the boat.
Pro tip, if you're planning on doing the gondola ride, presumably it's worth it. Because I was like, this is completely worth it. This is the most unique way of seeing the canal. This is amazing. This is how Venetians get around, and now we're on this boat. I think it's still worth it, but do check the weather forecast.
We checked it. It was really good today. So is Venice worth it or overhyped? To me, absolutely worth
100%.
it. 100%. If you come here, you don't even really have to spend any money. We just decide to splurge, but you can find some cheap pizza at like 10 euros or have a sandwich and just walk around all day, take in all the sights. Maybe take the bus on the Grand Canal, which is totally worth it at 7.5 euros. That
Incredible.
is a steal. That I think for me that was maybe
the highlight
of the day.
Yeah,
even.
probably. We hope you were not, like me, literally on the edge of your seat during that gondola ride. The next time we are going to see you in... I'll tell you next time. Bye-bye.